to day 11 of my 7th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days, and this is day 11. So you do not need to join the challenge to just do this workout with me. If you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, there are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So use the chapter markers to navigate to whatever portion of the video is relevant to you. If you would like to hear a little bit more about the challenge, what it is, why we're doing it, how you can participate, where to begin, and if you would like to see today's exercises briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So first of all, the challenge in a nutshell is what I just said. 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. That's it. That's literally the only requirement to participate in the challenge, is just that you get those 160 reps done. Any way you want to get them done is fine. So each day I like to incorporate those 160 reps into a structured workout. There is a playlist with all of the workouts for this challenge in chronological order. So I will link the playlist up here in the iCard. Click on the link, save the playlist. Even if at this point you are unsure whether or not you want to participate in the challenge, save the playlist anyway, so that when and if you do decide to join the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. And then what you're going to do is just start by watching that day 1 video. So watch the day 1 video, and then when and if you are ready to join the challenge, just make sure that you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. The challenge is designed to start on a Wednesday. So start with day 1 on a Wednesday, and from there, all you need to do is just follow along with the playlist, and everything will fall into place. I've made it super easy to follow along. If you don't want to go all the way back to the beginning and start on day 1, that's fine. There's no right or wrong way to do this. If you are the one doing it, it's your challenge. So you do it in whatever way works for you. If this is the first you're hearing about the challenge and you want to just jump in and start today on day 11, fine by me. I would much rather have you do days 11 through 40 of the challenge with me than no days of the challenge. Now, if you are an absolute beginner, if you are in terrible shape, if you've never done a workout before a day in your life, you may think that you can't do this challenge, but yes, you can. It just so happens, my friends, that last year, which was my 6th year in a row doing this challenge, I went out of my way to ensure that the challenge would be accessible and doable for day 1 beginners. So if you are a beginner and you're interested in joining the challenge, I'm going to link the playlist that I made last year for the challenge. I'll link that playlist up here in the iCard. So again, click on the link and save the playlist. And then just begin by watching that day 1 video. You don't have to commit to anything yet. Just click on the link, save the playlist, and watch the day 1 video. That day 1 video from last year is going to answer any question you could possibly have about the challenge. I talked about the origins of the challenge, why I started doing this challenge back in 2020. I talked a lot about my mental state at that time, because a big part of why we're doing this challenge is there's a mental health component to it. So it's more than just getting stronger physically by doing these 160 reps every day. There's a mental health component to it as well, and I talked a lot about that in that day 1 video from last year. And I also went through some options for how you can customize and modify this challenge. So again, if you're an absolute beginner, it may seem daunting to do a 40-day challenge, but you can do the first 20 days or the second 20 days, or you can do every other day. It may seem like out of reach to do 160 reps every day, but can you commit to doing 80 reps every day, or 40 reps, or 20? So there are ways that you can customize the challenge to accommodate your time constraints, your schedule, your fitness level, your access to equipment. This challenge is incredibly flexible. So please, if you're a beginner, click on the link, save the video from the playlist from last year, and start by watching that day 1 video. Give me a chance to convince you that you can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do abs, you can do push-ups. I provided beginner modifications that I promise you can do. So please give me a chance to convince you that you can do this challenge. And then again, when and if you decide that you want to join the challenge, just make sure you start with your day one video on a Wednesday. As long as you start with day one on a Wednesday, everything will fall into place. You just have to follow along with the playlist. It's super easy to follow along. And you'll have me there with you every single day, not only doing the challenge with you, not only doing the workouts with you, but I will be there to provide guidance and support. I will be there to provide motivation and encouragement if that's what you need. I will be there to answer your questions. So please, if you are an absolute beginner, don't think that this challenge isn't for you, because yes, it is. If you are not a beginner, then the workouts we're doing this year might be a little bit too much for you. They might be a little bit too advanced. But I will do my best this year to continue to provide equipment-free substitutions and beginner modifications as much as I can. But just keep in mind that on any given day, if you don't have the equipment I'm using, or if the variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that I'm doing are a little bit out of your reach and you need alternatives, you can always go back to this corresponding video from last year's challenge. And most likely, what you're going to see from last year's challenge is going to be essentially the same exact workout that we're doing this year, but with beginner modifications, with more instruction, and without any equipment. I was assuming last year, if you were an absolute beginner and you never worked out before, that you didn't own dumbbells or a kettlebell or a sandbag. I was assuming you didn't have access to any fitness equipment, so we didn't use any fitness equipment last year. So on any given day, if you feel like you have questions about how to do the exercises correctly, if you need a little more instruction, or if you need beginner modifications or equipment-free substitutions beyond what I'm providing in the video, you can ask. You can always ask me for help. Again, I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to guide and support you through this, whatever playlist you're following along with. So you can always ask, but just keep that in mind that you can always go back to last year's workout if you need to see that. And there you'll see all of your equipment-free substitutions and beginner modifications. We'll be taking the workouts at a slower pace, and those workouts just might be a little bit more doable for you. All right, but you're welcome to stay here if you're a beginner and do this workout with me today, but it's just that you're most likely going to have to apply your equipment-free substitutions and your beginner modifications while you're watching me do something else. So make the decision that is best for you. But last year was our baby bear challenge. This year we are in our mama bear era. So the workouts this year are at more of what I would consider an intermediate level. So if you're going to stay here with me today, I'm going to assume that you're at more of an intermediate level. I'm going to assume, if you're following along with this year's playlist, that you have access to some basic pieces of fitness equipment, although again, I will always do my best to provide equipment-free substitutions. And I'm going to assume that you already know how to do the exercises with the correct form for the most part. So I'll talk about how to do the exercises correctly a little bit. If there's anything that is unclear, if you have questions, again, I'm always here to help, but I'm going to assume for the most part that you know that you have to keep your back flat and the weight in your heels when you squat. I'm going to assume that you know how to keep your body in one straight line when you do your push-ups. So that's this year's playlist, kind of like an intermediate level. Now, if you are a big, strong Papa Bear and you need workouts that are really, really going to challenge you, if you're in really good shape, and if you maybe have a little bit more time to dedicate to your workout, and if you do own some basic pieces of fitness equipment, then the workouts that we did for year 5 of the challenge are probably going to be better suited for your needs. So I will link the playlist for year 5 up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and it will be linked again at the very end of the video, just so that you can't miss it. So all 3 playlists, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, will all 3 be linked in the iCard. All 3 will be linked in the description box down below the video, and all 3 of those playlists will be linked on the end screen. So, especially if you're advanced, I would recommend that you save all 3 playlists, because that way you have options. On any given day of the challenge, you're going to have a beginner option, an intermediate option, and an advanced option. So you can choose from baby bear, mama bear, or papa bear. Okay, so let's say you're in really great shape and you have the equipment I'm using and you can do the more advanced version of the exercises the way we did it in year 5 of the challenge, but you're just pressed for time that day, or maybe you're a little sore, or you're just low on energy and you want something that's a little bit scaled back, a little bit more low key, then you can work out with me along this year. You can do this year's workout, or if you need something even shorter, even simpler, then you can do the workout from last year. That's going to be more of a beginner level, but some days that's what you need even when you're advanced. So if you save all 3 playlists, then you can just kind of bounce around between all 3 of them and just choose whatever workout works best for you on any given day. So obviously I'm sharing a new workout each day of the challenge, and the workouts are numbered day 1 through day 40. So if you want to go in order through the playlist with me, great, but you don't have to. So again, you can bounce around between the playlists and you don't necessarily have to do the day 15 workout on day 15. If it's day 15, but you don't like that workout, skip ahead in one of the previous playlists and see if there's something on another day coming up that we haven't done together yet, but you want to do it. Or if there was a playlist from earlier in the challenge this year that you loved, you can do that workout again. But it doesn't have to even be one of the workouts off of any of these 3 playlists. It doesn't even have to be one of my workouts. Any workout that contains at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups will work. So it can be any other workout that you find on YouTube that happens to meet those requirements, or you can make up your own workout. Or you don't even have to do a structured workout at all if you don't want to. So you could get up in the morning and first thing just do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups. Any variations of those 4 exercises you want. And then you could just repeat that 3 more times throughout the day. So you could do it again after lunch, you could do it again after you get home from work, and then once more before bed. And there's your 160 reps. All right, so as long as you're getting your reps done at some point during the day, it doesn't matter which variations of those exercises you do, it doesn't matter how or when you get them done, just as long as you get them done, and as long as you're doing them with proper form. But that's it, that's how the challenge works. So let's go ahead and get into what we're doing today, starting with the equipment that I'm using. So you can see I have my pink Oogie ball here today. The pink ball weighs 8 pounds. So this is basically an 8-pound medicine ball. So when I'm traveling, there have been times in the past when I've done this workout while I was traveling, and what I had access to was maybe a slightly heavier or slightly lighter medicine ball, or maybe I didn't have access to a ball, but I had access to some other sort of weight. So this weight works well for me. This is what I have, so this is what I'm using, but that's just for reference, just so you know how much this weighs. You may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier than that. That depends on your strength, it depends on your level of fitness. And again, like I said, when I'm traveling or something, if you're traveling, it depends on what you have available to you. And of course, it depends on how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. But basically, any kind of exercise ball will work. As long as it's not too heavy for you. But if you don't have a ball, for these exercises that we're doing today, really you could use a kettlebell or a dumbbell or household items. So you could really hold on to like a jug of laundry detergent or maybe a bag of dog food. Okay, so just get creative and use what you've got, as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and injure yourself or break something and make a mess. And as long as it is not too heavy for you, then any number of household items, for example, could work for weight. So just get creative. Use what you've got. If you have absolutely nothing that is going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to your workout, that's fine. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions. So don't worry if you don't have a ball or if you don't want to add weight to your workout, that's fine. You can still do this workout right along with me. But other than my ball, the only other thing I'm using is an exercise mat. You are going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you for our ab exercise. So an exercise mat or a yoga mat is ideal. If you don't have a mat, a towel should probably suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything. So that's all you're going to need for the workout though, really, is just something soft beneath you for your abs. and then a weight if you want to add weight, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that we are doing today. We're starting with squats today. We're going in order through the circuit. So when I say we're going in order, I mean that we are spelling the word slap. So our circuit is squats, then lunges, then abs, then push-ups. All right, we're going to do 20 reps of everything, and then we're just going to repeat the circuit once more. Super simple format. So I'm starting with dynamic squats. I'll show you first without the ball. So this is your equipment-free substitution. Super simple. It's basically like a jumping jack plus a squat. So you're going to start with your feet together. As you sink down into your squat, you're going to jump your feet wide apart like a jumping jack. I like to come down and tap the floor of the ground. You don't have to. And then as you stand, you're going to jump your feet back together. That's it. So just make sure you're minding your form on the squat, shoulders back and down. So I like to think about tucking my shoulder blades into my back pockets. Chest stays lifted nice and high. Tighten up those abs, and then think about hinging at the hips before you squat. Stick your booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, and then keep your back flat. Keep the weight in your heels as you come down into your squat. All right, so really you can do any squat variation you want, but those two principles are going to apply to any squat variation you choose. Flat back, weight in the heels. So mind your form, but you can do literally any squat variation you want. That's one of the really cool things about this challenge. So on any given day, if you like the workout and you want to work out along with the video, with that day's video, but there's like one exercise I'm doing that you don't like or you can't do it, then just swap it out with a different exercise. So if you want to work that out along with this video, but you just don't like the squat variation, just while I'm doing my dynamic squats, you do any other squat variation you want, okay? And that applies for our lunges, our ab exercise, and our push-ups as well. But I will be doing dynamic squats. I'm just going to be holding onto my Oogie ball while I do them. So I'm just going to hold my ball in front of my chest like this, and as I come down into my squat, I'm going to tap my ball on the ground, and then as I jump my feet together to stand, I'm bringing the ball back up in front of my chest. So squat down, tap the ball, squat up. I don't know. Squatting up is a thing now. Straighten the legs, jump the feet together, and bring the ball back up in front of you, okay? Super simple. And that is my squat variation. So moving on to lunges, I'm going to be doing Tik-tok lunges. So it's really just a forward lunge and then a reverse lunge. Super simple. So I'm going to be staying on one leg, and basically you have one leg that is your standing leg, and the other leg is kind of swinging back and forth, almost like a pendulum or like a clock. So that's why it's like a tick-tock, tick-tock. So starting with my feet about shoulder width apart, and I'm just going to pick up one foot and step forward into my lunge. And then I'm going to bring this foot, I'm going to swing it back behind me and go right into my reverse lunge. Okay, so forward lunge, reverse lunge. Okay, so the tick-tock, I'm counting as 1 rep. Last year, we counted this forward lunge as 1 rep and this reverse lunge as 1 rep. Okay, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because last year, we were in our baby bear era. So the workouts were a little bit shorter, a little bit simpler. So you can count them that way if you want. It's your workout. You do it in whatever way works for you. So if you do it that way, then by the end of the workout, you will have completed a total of just 20 forward lunges on your left leg, 20 reverse lunges on your left leg, 20 forward lunges on your right leg, 20 forward lunges on your left leg. So that all adds up to, 10. 10, I can do math, I promise. You guys, I was literally in math club in high school, but that was 100 years ago. But yeah, so if you single count them that way, that I just showed you, then that means by the end of the workout, you will have ended up doing a total of just 10 forward lunges on your left leg, 10 forward lunges on your right leg, 10 reverse lunges on your left leg, and 10 reverse lunges on your right leg. So that all adds up to 40 reps of lunges. So that means you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. If you count them the way I'm going to be counting them, then that means that you will have completed a total of what I said before. I should just edit the video so it looks like I know how to do math. Just like cut that part where I was saying 20 reps and you know what I'm saying. Anyway, cat's out of the bag. Rebecca can't do math. But yeah, so it's up to you. If you end up counting them the way I'm going to be counting them today, that means that you're doing a total of 80 lunges by the end of the workout. 40 forward lunges and 40 reverse lunges, 20 on each leg. All right, enough talk about lunges and enough math. So I'm counting Tik-tok as 1 rep, okay? So Tik-tok, that's 1. Tik-tok, that's 2. All right, so that's your equipment-free substitution. You can single count them or you can double count them. I'm going to be holding onto my ball and I'm going to be adding a little oblique twist. So you can hold on to like a kettlebell or a dumbbell or a jug of laundry detergent, something like that, or like a bag of dog food, whatever you got. And you can do it with holding onto that instead. I'm just going to be holding onto my ball. So I'm always going to be doing my oblique twist towards whatever leg is in front. So as I'm ticking, first I'm going to start with the ball. I'm holding my weight up over my head. I'm going to step forward. So coming into my forward lunge first. So that's my tick. As I'm ticking, I'm going to swing the ball this way. So I'm always going towards my front knee. And then as I'm talking, so ball comes up as I swing the foot behind me, and then for this part of the lunge, I'm doing my oblique twist towards the opposite knee because now this is in front. Make sense? So, tick, tock, tick, tock. All right, and that was 2 reps that I just did. Remember, if you don't like that lunge variation, you do any lunge variation you want, with or without weight, but that's what I'm doing. So now moving on to abs. So very simple, we're just doing toe touches. I'll show you your equipment-free modification first. So coming down on your mat, on your back, extend your arms up overhead, extend your legs straight. Now you're going to lift your legs, keeping your knees more or less straight. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but you know, that kind of depends on your flexibility. Whatever's comfortable for you, but the point is that it's not a crunch. You are just lifting the legs straight up. So they should be more or less straight. And then you are just going to sit up and touch your toes and then reverse the movement. Come back to your starting position. That's it, super simple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just like that. Again, if you don't like that ab exercise, do a different ab exercise. It doesn't matter. Any crunch variation you want to do will work. Any sit-up variation, any ab exercise at all. I'm just going to be holding onto my ball, so you can be holding onto any kind of weight for this. So, lifting the legs, sit up and tap the ball to your toes or whatever you're holding for weight, and then return to your starting position. 1, 2, 3. All right, very, very simple. And last but not least is push-ups. So I'm going to be doing cross-leg push-ups. Again, any push-up variation you want to do is fine, but this is what I'm doing. So coming up into your plank pose, remember head is in line with the spine. Do not allow your head to drop like this. Make sure your shoulders are away from the ears. So do not sink down into your shoulders like this. Spread out all 10 fingers, press the ground away from you, and make sure your back is flat. So tighten up your abs. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. So you're not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this. Body is in one straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. Now you're going to step your feet wide apart, pick up one foot, bring it over to the other side and stack one ankle on top of the other. And you're doing your push-up from this position. Then feet wide apart, repeat on the other side. So pick up the opposite foot, bring it across, stack your ankles one on top of the other, push up. All right, so that is your equipment-free substitution. If that doesn't work for you, any push-up variation you want to do will work. I'm going to be doing these 2 ways. So we're going through the circuit twice. The first time through the circuit, I am going to be doing these with my hands on the oogie ball. So if you are using a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can absolutely do your push-ups with your hands on your kettlebell or your dumbbell, or 2 dumbbells. Just make sure that if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, my dumbbells are hex dumbbells, they're flat on the bottom, and that provides me more stability. So that when I'm holding onto my dumbbells in a plank position or doing push-ups while I'm holding onto my dumbbells, I'm not worried that the dumbbells are going to roll around on me. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, maybe don't use them that way, but I know a lot of people do push-ups while holding onto rounded dumbbells. It is up to you what level of risk you feel comfortable taking, so please just be smart, be safe, use your common sense. But again, I'm assuming if you're following along with this workout that you're at more of an intermediate level and you know whether or not you can do push-ups on rounded dumbbells. So there we go. I've said what I had to say. But if what you are using for weight for the other 3 exercises does not lend itself to this application, then just do your push-ups with your hands flat on the floor or the ground for stability, okay? But I'm going to be using my ball. Now, the instability of the ball is what makes this more difficult. So I know I just said to use something stable, but if you're using a medicine ball was designed to be used this way. So yeah, the instability of the ball though really increases the difficulty because it causes all of those tiny little stabilizer muscles in your core to have to be firing like crazy. So adds a lot of difficulty to the exercise, but don't worry if you don't have a ball, it's not necessary. But it's the same exercise, so cross the ankles, push up, other side, super simple. All right, now that's what I'm going to be doing the first time through the circuit. The second time through the circuit, I'm going to be doing basically the equipment-free modification that I just showed you. I'm doing my push-ups with my hands flat on the mat, just like this. But as instead of just switching my ankles like that, I'm going to walk my feet up and over the ball, again, just for a little bit of extra core work. So it's going to look like this. So I'm starting with my cross-leg push-up, and then I'm going to step 1 foot on the ball, step the other foot on the ball, and then just walk over, okay? And then do another push-up here. So in between reps, I'm just walking my feet up and over the ball. All right, so that's the second time through the circuit. So we're kind of doing 2 different push-up variations today, but not really, but kind of. So that's it, that's our circuit. SLAP, squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. 20 dynamic squats, then 20 Tik-tok lunges, counting each tick and tock as 1 rep, staying on the same leg for all 20 reps. Then 20 reps of our ab exercise, which is our toe touches, and 20 cross-leg push-ups with my hands on the ball. And then we're going to repeat the circuit, but the second time through the circuit, we'll do our 20 dynamic squats the same, and then when we do our lunges, we will switch legs. So remember, as you're going through the circuit the first time, remember which is your standing leg so that you make sure to work the opposite leg the second time through the circuit. And then as soon as you're finished with your lunges the second time through, you'll do another 20 reps of toe touches, and then you'll finish with your final 20 reps of push-ups. So that time I'm going to be doing my push-ups with my feet walking up and over the ball in between reps. All right, and that's it. That's our 160 reps. That's our 40 squats, 40 lunges on each leg, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups. So hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you, so watch me do it, read the instructions. But then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, if you need to see beginner modifications, I am always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. It is really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. This is a pretty short little workout, so the best way to really maximize the effectiveness of this workout is to make sure that you are performing each rep with the best possible form that you can. So make sure you understand what it is that you are asking your body to do. And hopefully you guys also know that it is equally as important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. And I also want to remind you before we begin, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, to please make sure that you are going at your own pace. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. So go at your own pace and mind your form. If you are in really good shape, then you will definitely be faster than I am, and that's wonderful. Be faster than I am, as long as you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. But if you are racing to stay ahead of me because you want to beat my score, or maybe you just set a really ambitious time goal that you're chasing, and your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. It is always going to be safer and more effective to slow down and do your reps with proper form than it is to just try to go as fast as you can if it means that your form is going to get sloppy. And if you're slower than I am, that is also wonderful, because you would not even know that you're slower than I am unless you got dressed and you got your little booty out here with me today and you were putting in the work, okay? As long as you're doing your reps, that's what's important. And of course, it's important to make sure that you're doing them with the correct form. So if you're slower than I am, fine, wonderful, be slower than I am. Please do not race to keep up with me at the expense of your form. If you fall behind, either just because you're working at a slower pace than I am, or because you're finding that you need to take rest breaks where I'm not taking them, or you're just needing longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, that's fine. Just pause the video. I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, come back and we will finish the workout together. I do want you to challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. So please be smart, be safe, listen to your body, work to your own level. So choose a weight that is appropriate for you, nothing too heavy. Drop the added weight if necessary, rest as needed. Switch to the beginner modifications if you need to. Hold on to something for support for your lunges. Put your knees down for the push-ups. Shorten up your range of motion, okay? Please just don't push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. Make the decision that is best for you and just do your best. Please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, gather whatever equipment you need for today. So for me, that is just my 8-pound Oogie ball and an exercise mat. So any kind of exercise ball will work. If not, you can use a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a household item. If you have nothing that is going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine. You have your equipment-free substitutions. But you will definitely be more comfortable with something soft beneath you for our ab exercise. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And again, if you are working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. Pause the video, go get dressed. Meet me right back here. We are going to start with a quick little 5-minute warm up, and then we will get right into our day 11 reps. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Now place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. You are not pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the opposite side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Now we're going to switch sides. So let go with your hand, allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Your arm is completely relaxed. Your shoulders should be relaxed as well, down and away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to start by just allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier. Allow your range of motion to increase until finally your entire torso is just kind of spilling in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Next, we're going to just do some shoulder rolls. So you can roll your shoulders either towards the back or towards the front, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're exploring your full range of motion here. So you want to make your circles as big as you possibly can. Next, we're going to do some arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So just extend your arms straight out to the sides and then start by making small circles either towards the back or towards the front, it doesn't matter. But gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making your circles as big as you possibly can. Really exploring your full range of motion here. Now make sure your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and sweep your arms in front of you. And as you straighten your legs, you're reaching up towards the ceiling. Each time you bend your knees, you're allowing your range of motion to increase, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. Again, they should be wider than shoulder width apart. We're just going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. Adding the arms. So now with each lunge, I'm reaching my arm across my body. It's like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're just going to march in place. So step your feet in and just march. Starting with your knees low, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can. Really work to get them up there. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. Now we're just jogging in place. Again, you're starting with your knees low, but as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving your knees up as high as you can. One more jogging interval. Next is booty kicks. So now with each step, you're just bringing your foot behind you, really trying to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. For this next one, if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair for support. If not, hands on the hips is fine. You're going to pick up one foot and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose, just waking up those hip flexors. Next, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg front and back. And again, you can start low, but as the interval progresses, if it feels comfortable for you, you can start swinging that leg higher and higher, expanding your range of motion. Now, put this foot down, pick up the other foot, extend the leg straight out in front of you, and then bring the leg around and behind you, making a little semicircle. Each time you make that semicircle, you're lifting the leg higher and higher, and then we're going to finish with 2 hip circles. So drive the knee up towards your chest. Use your hand to kind of guide it around. Other side. So extending the opposite leg out in front, and then making a semicircle, bringing the leg around and behind you, lifting the leg higher and higher each time. And for the last 2 reps, you're driving the knee up in front of you, using your hands to guide it around for a hip circle. Finishing with a hamstring stretch. So you can use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you if you want. But you want your feet wide apart, hinge at the hips, keep your back as flat as you can as you come down into this stretch. That way you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So using the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you can make this stretch a little bit easier. Can make it a little bit easier to keep your back flat. And it might make the stretch a little bit more accessible for you. But that's it, that's our 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into this tough little workout, starting with 20 dynamic squats with or without weight, or you could be doing 20 reps of any squat variation you want. Starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm holding my ball in front of me, starting with your feet together. You're going to jump your feet wide apart as you come down into your squat, and then jump the feet together as you stand. That's 2, 3, we're going to 20, do your best. That's 20. So now onto our Tik-tok lunges. So you can do these with or without weight. Remember, it's a forward lunge plus a reverse lunge. So the forward lunge plus a reverse lunge, I'm counting as 1 rep, and I'm doing 10 reps, or sorry, 20 reps. Or no, wait. Let's do 10 reps on each leg. This is a departure from what I said during the tutorial. I'm changing it on the fly because I think this is how we usually do it. So we're not going to switch legs the second time through the circuit. We're just going to do 10 reps on one leg, then 10 reps on the other leg. So I'm going to start with my ball up above my head, and now we're going to do a forward lunge. So step forward and lunge, swing the ball to the side. Now right into your reverse lunge, swing the ball towards the opposite side. Swinging this foot forward, lunge forward, oblique twist, reverse lunge, oblique twist. So that's 2, tick, and tuck. That's 3. 4, keep going, we're going to 10. If you want the burnout, you can stick with the same leg for all 20 reps, and then just work the opposite leg the second time through the circuit. But I'm remembering now that that's not the way I normally do this workout. So I'm doing 10 reps on each leg with each round. So as soon as you're ready, let's get the other leg. Reps. Take 2. That's 10. I know those are tough, especially when you're double counting them and adding weight. But hey, we're in our mama bear era this year, and mama bears are tough. All right, 20 toe touches. With or without weight. That's our S, our L, and our A. So finishing out the circuit with push-ups. Cross-leg push-ups, with or without the ball, or any other push-up variation you want to do. 20 reps. So do your best. So feet wide apart, hands on the ball. Now cross one ankle over the other and push up. Alternating sides with each rep. So 20 reps total. I'm counting those as my first 2 reps. I'm gonna zip it so I can conserve some energy. I gotta do 18 more of these and they're tough. Don't rest if you don't need to. That's 16 for me. I just have to do 4 more. Should be wearing gloves because my hands are sweating and they're kind of sliding off the ball. It's all right. Just 4 more like this. Round 2, I'll have my hands flat on the mat. It'll be fine. 18, 2 more. 19 and 20. All right, that's round 1. If you need to pause and take a little rest break before round 2 so that you can towel off, get a sip of water. If you want your heart rate to come down a little bit, you want to let your breathing normalize a little bit, that's fine. When you're ready, come back. We're going to repeat the circuit once more. So starting again at the top with another 20 dynamic squats. As soon as you're ready, here we go. That's 20. So we're all done with squats. Moving on to lunges. Tik-tok lunges, or any other lunge variation you want to do. Remember, I'm double counting these so that each rep actually contains a forward lunge and a reverse lunge, which means that I'm doubling my lunges today. So if you don't want to do that, just single count them, that's fine. When you're ready, here we go. 10 reps on one leg. leg. When you're ready, was 4. When I lost my balance, I just want to reset. I have to do 6 more. Poor little Oogie. Getting thrown around here. I love my Oogie ball. No disrespect. All right, 20 toe touches. That's 20. So we have completed all 40 squats. We completed 40 forward lunges on each leg, 40 reverse lunges on each leg, so a total of 80 lunges on the day, and 40 reps of abs. We've completed 20 push-ups so far, so all we have left to do is finish up with our final set of 20 push-ups. So cross-leg push-ups, but this time I have my hands flat on the mat, and I'm going to be walking my feet up and over the ball in between reps. So starting with your ankles crossed to one side, push up. Now walk your feet up and over the ball, cross the ankles on the other side, push up. So that's 2 reps. We're going to 20, do your best. Just 10 more. 17 minutes and 15 seconds. I would have liked to finish it faster than that, but I didn't actually set a time goal, so it was a tough little workout. And I was pushing myself hard, so I'm good with that. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete, and especially no workout for this challenge is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. It's really important to make sure that you never skip your bonus burpee. The bonus burpee that we do at the end of each one of these workouts is part of the challenge. It's that exclamation point at the end of the workout. It's the thing that completes the workout. And it's just a little celebration that we summoned the motivation to stick with the challenge for another day. It's a little pat on the back for getting our reps done, and it's that final slap across Brutus's face that is going to shut him up for the rest of the day. And if you don't know who Brutus is, watch the day 1 video from last year and you can learn all about who Brutus is, why he deserves to be slapped, and how he fits into this whole challenge. But that's it with that bonus burpee, that celebration, that final slap across Brutus's face. The workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You want to just keep moving for a couple of minutes after the workout while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit, and while you allow your breathing to normalize so you can pace around back and forth. That's usually what I do for the first minute or two. You can just shake out the legs, shake out the arms a little bit. Let's do a shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure that your straight arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulder is completely relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up by your ear, you are not going to be able to stretch it effectively, and this is a really nice stretch. It feels good. So relax your arm, relax the shoulder, feel that nice stretch in your shoulder, and make sure that you are moving, okay? So as we're doing these stretches, just keep moving. So you can see I'm just kind of shaking out my legs as I'm stretching my shoulder, but again, you can pace, or you can really even just shift your weight from foot to foot. But keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. And you do that by breathing all the way down to your belly button. So as you inhale, feel your diaphragm being pulled down. Allow your rib cage to physically expand and visualize filling up your entire torso with air as you inhale. And then use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Let's get the other shoulder. So just bringing the opposite arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. They should be down, away from your ears. Keep moving. I'm just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot, but I'm moving. If it's more comfortable, if it feels better, you can shake out the legs or you can pace and keep focusing on your breathing. So let's take one more nice deep breath here. Feel your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Breathing all the way down to your belly button and then controlling the air as you exhale. Shake out the arms. Let's do a tricep stretch next. So bending one elbow, place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You want to avoid having this free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. So point those fingers straight down at the ground as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that really nice stretch in your triceps. And again, just keep moving. You can pace, you can shake out the legs, you can shift your weight from foot to foot, but keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing. Coming out, shake out the arms. Let's get the other tricep. So bend your other elbow, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, feeling that nice stretch in your triceps. Keep moving. Shake out the legs. And keep breathing all the way down to your belly button. So let's take one more nice deep breath here. Nice controlled exhale. And come out. All right, we're going to finish with a quad stretch. We're going to be balancing on one foot. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold on to the wall or any other sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support. So maybe your kitchen counter, the arm of your couch, dining room table. Just bend one knee and bring the foot behind you, and then reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you are holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, then you can go ahead and reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and press your heel into your booty cheek. As you're doing that, you want to tilt your pelvis forward. So think about tucking your booty underneath you and trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you do that, as you're tilting your pelvis forward, make sure you're continuing to actively press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively, but I also want you to feel that stretch continue all the way up to your hip flexors. So coming out, shake out the legs, let's get the other side. So bending the opposite knee, bring the foot behind you. Reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you can go ahead and reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, press your heel into your booty cheek, and as you're doing that, you're tilting your pelvis forward, tucking that booty underneath you, and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Keep continuously reminding yourself to push your, tilt your pelvis forward, and keep reminding yourself to continue pressing your heel into your booty cheek. You have to continuously be doing both of those things to get the full effectiveness of this stretch. Let's take one more deep breath here. Inhale, breathing all the way down to your belly button. Control the air as you exhale, and come out. So once more, just shake out the legs, shake out the wrists. I'm feeling my wrists today after that workout. Shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit, and that's it. That's our little cool down. So now I'm going to get right into my cardio. I have Victoria here with me today. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these pretty light pink metallic handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there's a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I am going to set my interval timer for 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 40 rounds. That's 20 minutes. I'm going to get some music going, and I'm just gonna knock out my cardio right now, immediately after the workout. Then I'll do my stretching, have my shower, and then I can eat some lunch and get on with the rest of my day. The additional cardio is not technically part of the challenge. It's not mandatory, but I am sharing this with you because every year when I do this challenge, this is how I do it. After every single workout, I add on 20 to 30 minutes or more, if I can, if I have time, of moderate paced cardio. So for me, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a 20-minute jump rope session. But on a very rare occasion, I might decide to go for a run. When I have time and it's nice out, I like to go for a nice, long, tough hike. So I do at least 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, and sometimes longer if I'm going on a hike. But after each one of these workouts, I like to tack on some moderate paced cardio. So I'm just letting you know that this is how I do the challenge, because if you are looking to use this challenge to get yourself in shape, to improve your stamina, to lose weight, the additional cardio is going to go a long way towards helping to accelerate that process for you. And that means you're going to start seeing results faster. So as soon as you start to see the results of all your hard work, it's really encouraging, and that makes it easier to find the motivation to keep going. So once you start seeing your progress happen, everything kind of snowballs from there. So the sooner you can start seeing progress, the better your chances are of successfully completing this challenge. And the more gratifying it's going to be when you get to day 40 and you can really see how far you've progressed. So if you don't have time for a cardio session after every single workout, that's fine. That's completely understandable. But if you can at least find 2 to 3 days a week, I strongly recommend that you do that. It doesn't have to be jump rope. You can go for a jog or a bike ride, or if you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, you can hop on one of those for 20 or 30 minutes or more if you have time. If you have access to something like an elliptical or a Stairmaster. Or if you have stairs in your home, your apartment complex, you can do up and down the stairs. If you have access to the field at your local high school, maybe jog around the track or do up and down the bleachers. Or if you took your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail today, a jog at the beach or the park sounds lovely, or a little hike. So you could even just do like a fitness class or do something fun, like meet a friend at the park to play some tennis or basketball or something like that. So just 20 to 30 minutes or more if you want, if you have time, of moderate paced cardio, at least 2 to 3 days a week if you can. If you can commit to that, I just know that you will be so much happier with your results on day 40 of the challenge. So again, the additional cardio is not required, it is not mandatory, it is not officially part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. Also, incredibly strongly recommended is that as soon as you're finished with your cardio, you take a good 20 to 30 minutes to stretch. So if you're not going to do cardio, then right now is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done. If you are going to do cardio, I recommend doing your cardio first, and then immediately once you're through with your cardio session, get right into your stretching routine, because after the workout, immediately after the workout or immediately after your cardio is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to do your stretching, because your muscles are already nice and warm. If you do not have time to stretch right now, that's fine. You can put off your stretching until later on in the day. Just remember that if you do that, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you'll need to take a few minutes to warm them back up. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles, because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. So as long as you're getting your stretching done at some point during the day, that's all that matters. Just please make sure that you are doing so safely. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It is also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, which is very important, especially if you are doing the challenge, because a big part of the reason why we're doing this challenge is to create a habit of daily exercise. And we accomplish that through consistent effort. That's why we're working out 6 days in a row every single week, so that by day 40, hopefully you will have established that habit of daily exercise. And once the challenge is over, you're going to continue making daily exercise a part of your routine. But if you injure yourself at some point during the challenge, you're going to have to skip a few days while you allow your body to recover, and whatever momentum you've been working so hard to build is going to come to a screeching halt, and it's going to make it really difficult to establish that habit of daily exercise. So generally speaking, of course, it's no fun to be injured, and I don't want anyone getting hurt, so it's really important to take the time to stretch every day, because it is going to reduce your risk of injury, which is important on its own, but it's especially important if you are doing this challenge. And taking the time to stretch every day is going to, of course, improve your flexibility. So if you're doing these 160 reps with me every single day, except Sundays, for 40 days to build strength, and if you're adding on 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after at least 2 or 3 workouts a week to improve your stamina, why not take the time to stretch every day so that you improve your flexibility while you're at it? Flexibility is a very important aspect of your overall fitness level, and I think sometimes it can tend to be overlooked and undervalued. So please make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day if you can. If not, again, at least 2 or 3 days a week, but it's really important to keep your muscles pliable so that you reduce your risk of injury and you increase the likelihood that you will successfully complete this challenge with me. But that is officially a wrap on day 11, and we are officially into our second full week of this challenge. So if you did this day 11 workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me this year. And even if you're not doing the challenge with me, if you did this workout with me today, thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear about the format of today's workout, especially since the format we did was different than the format I told you we were going to do. So if anything is unclear about how everything fits together, or if you have questions about the exercises we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. If you know anyone who might be interested in joining the challenge, please feel free to share this video with them, share the playlist with them. If they're a beginner, you can share last year's playlist with them. If you know someone who's in great shape and you think they might want to follow along with the year 5 playlist, share that playlist with them. Share anything you want to share with them. But the more people doing the challenge with me each year, the better. So if you are doing the challenge with me, please let me know. So I like to have an idea of how many people are joining me each year for the challenge. But that is it. That's all I have for you today. So I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 12. Bye.